All right, get this. Today we're diving deep into the career of Neetu Choudhary.
Oh, this one's going to be good.
Yeah, you guys requested this one, and let me tell you, her LinkedIn profile, wow, it's a lot.
I actually know exactly what you mean.
So she's based in Dubai, right?
Yep. Yep.
And over 20 years of experience. But like, where do you even start?
Yeah, it's almost overwhelming, right?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Over 150 companies, thousands of employees, 30 countries.
Okay, right off the bat, those numbers, that's serious impact. Like, that's not just working at these companies, that's leading change,
Yeah,
making connections.
Yeah, forget just international experience. 30 countries is a whole different ballgame.
Exactly. You got to be adaptable to thrive in that environment. Think about the different cultures, the business practices.
And the problems you'd have to solve. Talk about a crash course in global business.
And it's not just any companies either. Fortune 500 multinational corporations, we're talking top tier.
Okay, so she's clearly operating at a high level, which, by the way, makes total sense considering she's considered a top coach in the UAE.
Makes you wonder what her day-to-day look like, right?
For real. And hold on, because it gets even more interesting. She was a DP World Dubai, huge logistics company, but then founded her own company, Evolvitude FZE.
Talk about a bold move. DP World, that's a demanding world, high stakes, high pressure.
So to go from that to entrepreneur,
Mm.
got to be a serious drive there.
Right, like what's the motivation? More control, bigger impact, maybe just a new challenge.
It's like she aced one level of the game and decided, all right, time to create my own.
And that, in and of itself, tells you something. This is someone who doesn't shy away from taking risks, from carving their own path.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that definitely comes through in the rest of her profile. But we'll get to that in a sec. Okay, but awards, though, right?
Oh, yeah, buckle up.
This is where it gets good because these aren't just, like, thanks for showing up awards.
Oh, these are big deals.
They're real. Like, Best Public Speaker 2022 from the Global Women Leadership Awards. That's not just about being good at PowerPoint.
Definitely not. You have to connect, you have to inspire. Think about the kind of presence that wins that title.
Right. Like, is she giving these huge keynote speeches, or is it more intimate, really working that one-on-one impact?
Either way, that communication, it's key, especially as a coach.
Totally. And then hold on to your hats, because she was also a top-rated speaker, multiple years running, by Isaaca USA. And Isaaca, they don't mess around with IT governance and security. They're the real deal.
So that tells me her expertise, it's not just talk. It's recognized. It's validated by the people who literally wrote the book on this stuff.
Exactly. So we've got tech expertise, killer public speaking skills.
Yeah.
And then there's Life Coach of the Year from Lifestyle Fiesta.
See, adding layers.
Right. So it's not just about the corporate world, it's about personal growth too.
Exactly. This is someone who's guiding people to success in all areas of life.
Okay, but here's where I really geek out. Her coaching framework, it's described as unique, and it brings in neuroscience, behavioral science, NLP. Like, whoa.
It's not just self-help, it's science-backed, which honestly is huge in the coaching world right now.
Because it's not enough to just say, think positive. You got to understand the why behind the how, right?
100%. And that's what neuroscience, behavioral science, that's what it brings to the table. Understanding how our brains actually work, how we form habits, how we react to stress.
So she's basically taking those complex concepts and making them actionable.
Yeah, and that's the key. It's like anyone can read a study, but can you apply it to your daily life? Can you use it to make a change? That's the magic.
It's like she's bridging that gap between the lab and the real world. And speaking of which, can we talk about her program titles for a second?
Go for it. I'm intrigued.
Because we're talking neuroscience of female leadership, science of leadership, present like a pro. These are niche.
Totally. And she's not just slapping those words on there, right? It speaks to how she's approaching these topics.
Oh, for sure. Like if you're a woman in a leadership position, and let's face it, that's a whole other ballgame sometimes.
You're speaking my language.
Right. So to have that neuroscience lens, that understanding of how our brains work, especially under pressure, I bet that's gold.
And it makes you think, what kind of results are people seeing with this approach?
That's what I'm wondering. Because, okay, science of leadership, I'm picturing brain scans and lab coats. Maybe that's too much.
Maybe. But the point is, it's data-driven. It's not just trust your gut. It's understand how your gut reactions are wired.
Mind blown. Seriously, this is fascinating stuff.
Right. And it all comes back to what we were saying earlier. She's not just following the trends. She's setting them.
Totally. And what's so interesting about her is she's not your typical leadership coach.
Okay.
I mean, you look at her background, and it's 22 years of, like, hardcore IT governance, business excellence, even risk management, all at a global level.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? Like analytical brain power focused on your goals.
Right. It's like she speaks data and human,
Yes,
which is, I gotta say, a superpower.
it is.
You see certifications, but NLP, emotional intelligence coaching, hypnotherapy, and a Six Sigma black belt.
And that Six Sigma, that's not just a fancy title, right? It means that she can spot what's not working, streamline it all, boom, amazing results. It's like she's troubleshooting your career, the same way she handled risk at a place like DP World Dubai.
Okay, now that's a resume. But let's get real. Her LinkedIn mentions these best-selling programs, Science of Leadership, Neuroscience of Female Leadership, catchy titles, but what's the takeaway for someone, wanting to level up?
That's where we see beyond the buzzwords.
Right.
Take Science of Leadership. It's not just being inspiring, it's breaking down decision-making scientifically. She teaches you to see the unconscious bias that might be holding you back, like upgrading your mental software.
So a cheat code for your brain. I'm in. But a lot of these programs, they feel kind of one size fits all. How does she adapt to different people, different problems?
Well, one thing that jumped out from her profile was the variety of clients. CEOs, entrepreneurs, even university professors, all praising her work. And this one comment stood out about her innovative and impactful training style, focused on driving real change, they said.
Real change? What does that even look like, though? We've all done those workshops, sound great in theory, but then real life, it's back to square one. What's she doing differently?
That's where all those certifications, they come together. She doesn't just have them, she uses them, weaves them into her coaching so it feels whole.
Like, give me an example. How does someone with a tech background and then hypnotherapy, how do they approach, say, negotiation?
Perfect question. She's got this LinkedIn article, Negotiation. Nasty or nice. It's the perfect example. It's not about being tough or nice. It's about the psychology of it, right?
Yeah.
She teaches you to adapt your style to whoever you're talking to.
So reading the room, but then also rewriting the script, we could all use a bit of that.
Exactly.
Right?
And it's not just theory. That IT governance, the business excellence, that gives her this insider's view on what actually works, not just should work.
So she's got the experience, the certifications, the results, but from her LinkedIn, I'm sensing something else too. Passion. It's like she lives this.
Oh, totally. And that's contagious, right? It spills over into her coaching, makes it more engaging, impactful. It's not checking boxes, it's lighting that fire in people.
And that's the difference between good and great coaching, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And that brings us to the Neuroscience of Female Leadership program. What's fascinating here is it's not just leadership generally, it's the challenges and opportunities that women specifically face.
Which is so important now with all these conversations about diversity, inclusion in leadership roles. But what does it mean, neuroscientific approach? Is this just a fancy way of saying women think differently?
Not at all. It's about understanding how our brains work, how we handle stress, how we build confidence. And she doesn't present it in some boring academic way.
Right. Who wants a lecture on brain chemicals when you're trying to figure out how to get that raise or that promotion? How does she make it relatable?
From what I've seen, she takes these complex ideas and turns them into practical tools, techniques anyone can use.
Okay, now we're talking.
It's like, have you ever noticed, right? You get flustered in a tough spot, and your colleague, they're thriving. It's not just personality. There's brain stuff happening there. And once you get that, you can manage your energy, your emotions, play to your strengths.
So not fitting into some leadership box, she's saying, hey, use what makes you, you.
I like that. And speaking of different perspectives, there's this article on her LinkedIn, Beyond Beauty.
Yeah.
And I know what's beauty got to do with work, right?
Yeah.
But it's Neetu. Got to be interesting.
Oh, for sure. It's that blending thing again. See, in this article, she's saying true beauty, it's not looks, it's your values, your character, the impact you make.
Okay, that's, wow, deep. But how's that work related?
She talks about authenticity, integrity, doing work that matters. She gives this example, a client trying to climb the ladder but playing a role, not being herself. Ugh, been there. Exhausting. What happened?
Neetu helped her figure out her values, her passions, then find a job that matched those. And guess what? Found a job she loved, excelled like never before, because she was finally being real.
It's not the resume, it's finding that thing that lights you up.
Exactly. And that's the power of this coaching, right? It's not just skills, it's self-discovery, that inner potential.
And no generic program's doing that. But, show me the receipts. What are people saying about working with her?
Her recommendations, it's like a love fest. But one, a CEO called her training transformative, praised her ability to drive real change.
Transformative, strong words. What stood out for them?
They said it helped their whole leadership team, communication, relationships, a more positive environment, and specifically navigating a big organizational change.
So not just individual growth, but a ripple effect on the whole company. That's impact. And it's not just CEOs. We're seeing it from people at all levels. Confidence building, presentation skills, landing dream jobs, way beyond just the boardroom. It's like she's helping people build a better life, not just a career.
Exactly. It's that holistic approach, right? Professional development isn't just climbing a ladder. It's aligning your work with what matters to you, finding joy in it, making a difference.
Finding that sweet spot, passions, talents, the world's needs all lining up, that resonates. I don't know about you, but I've had those moments like, is this it? Is there more?
Oh, for sure. That purpose, that meaning, we all want that.
Yeah.
And she's offering a way to find it.
Totally. But what's that path look like? How do you go from stuck to unstoppable? What's the secret sauce?
Well, everything we've seen, it's a few things combined. First, the neuroscience, understanding the why behind how you act.
So not just be more confident, it's here's why you're not and how to change that.
Yes. And remember, the Six Sigma, spotting problems, streamlining results. She's doing that for you, personally, professionally.
Like a personal trainer, but for your brain. Blind spots, workout plan, cheering you on, love it. But it's not all mindset, is it? There's that real-world experience, too.
Absolutely. The IT, the business excellence, she gets the challenges of today's workplace. Not just talking the talk, she's walked the walk.
So not just learning, but doing, getting that confidence to actually use what you learn, bridging the gap between, like, the textbook and the real world, which so many miss. It's the what and the how.
Exactly. She's about empowering, not the whole guru thing.
Guide, not guru. I like that. But got to bring it back to you, our listener.
First, this is all for them.
Exactly. So you're into this stuff, professional development, maybe thinking about a coach. Neetu's got it. We see that. But is she right for you? That's the question.
$1 million question and no easy answer. But think about this. Tech, business, human behavior, all in one. You see that often.
Never. It's like the trifecta of professional development.
Exactly. Which is why she's perfect for now, this crazy work world we're in. Think about what trips you up at work. Keeping up with tech, office politics, just asking for what you're worth. Her style, its skills, NED, that's valuable.
Thriving, not just surviving in this chaos.
Right. And it's not just individuals. It's companies building a better future, more resilient human.
And who doesn't want that, right? Work that values you, A&D, your skills. Okay, lots to chew on, but last thought before we go. We've seen how Neetu helps people climb the ladder, but someone like her, those skills, could they tackle the big stuff,
Ooh, I like it. Burnout, diversity, and leadership. What about AI ethics? Big important stuff.
Exactly. She might not have all the answers, but her approach, the neuroscience, the experience, the focus on, like, being a good human seems made for this. It's not just playing the game, it's changing the rules.
Now that is a powerful thought. So to our listener, think bigger than just your own goals. How could Neetu's skills help you change your workplace, change the world even? Something to think about. Makes you wonder, what can we learn from her journey? Maybe it's incorporating a little more science into our own lives. Maybe it's just about being open to new approaches.
Or maybe it's about being brave enough to, like she did, take that leap and create something new. Because why not?
Exactly. All right, everyone listening, that's our deep dive on Neetu Choudhary. Go out there, do something amazing, and we'll catch you on the next one.